Yes, folks, hello, welcome once again to Mod Games and Collectibles. Time for another news item here on the channel. That's right, folks, Mod Games and Collectibles, where you get some of the action figure news some of the time when I get around to it. And in today's installment, I'd like to talk about the new Fury Force subline that Big Bad Workshop stroke Fresh Monkey Fiction previewed at the JoeFest convention that took place not last weekend, but the weekend before. They put the digital renders out there, so I've got the digital renders for us to have a quick look at. Some photographs of the production models as well that my friend Curtis provided me from the convention in their glass cabinet. Going to share some thoughts, share some commentary, give you a little bit of background as well on Fury Force to my limited knowledge as to what it is as well, and invite you, of course, to share your thoughts about it in the comments down below. So let's get into it and let's take a look at the new Fury Force line coming from Big Bad Workshop. And let's kick things off with that little bit of historical context. Like I say, my depth of knowledge around this was small, was limited. I knew the kind of mythology around it, but as I understand it, Larry Hama was working on a new in-continuity kind of military spy series centered around Nick Fury Jr., Nick Fury's son, who was going to head up a kind of military-style combat unit. They had a sniper, a demolitions expert, an intelligence expert, etc., headed up by Sergeant Fury, Nick Fury's son, Nick Fury Jr., and that was going to be the kind of core premise of the comic book. But when Larry Hama presented the idea, Jim Shooter was like, I'm not sure we're ready for it. It's not right for our audience at this moment in time. However, as all this was going on, Hasbro were knocking on the door of Marvel to do a comic book tie-in. The story slightly differs from per individual to individual, but essentially Larry Hama ended up with the writing gig, and he had this in the drawer, his Fury Force idea for the Marvel continuity, and he basically adapted a proportion of the ideas from here into what became G.I. Joe, a real American hero. And that's really the long and the short of it. It's a kind of obscure nostalgia piece that, unless you're really deeply engaged with G.I. Joe, you probably wouldn't know about. Some of these stories have been referenced on things like The Toys That Made Us on the Netflix documentary. JLS Comics has got a great video on the subject. I also managed to dig out some blog posts on it as well. I'll put links to all those in the description down below. But that's kind of the long and the short of the context that surrounds all this. It's a military unit that was the kind of precursor idea to what Larry Hama wrote into the real American hero narrative when he did, the G.I. Joe comic books. So with that said, let's have a look at the digital renders then, and we'll start with Top Kick, the first sergeant. This was obviously what would have been in the original Fury Force concept, the Nick Fury Jr. Sergeant Fury character there. And you know what? My broad feedback for this figure and throughout the rest of the look of the line, except for one, is that, we're just looking at some just good quality toy soldier stuff here, aren't we? We're looking at some solid toy soldier stuff. It's got this lovely sort of Vietnam era kind of aesthetic to the uniform design, which I'm appreciative of. The uniform has a consistent look and feel throughout the other figures, although there is one thing I noticed that I'll point out. So the first sergeant, Top Kick's torso articulation, couldn't remember the words torso articulation then, it looks to be a hinge, whereas some of the other ones have got barbell joints on, which is interesting. But two heads, head swap there, one with the cigarette, one without. Got his beret, got his dog tags, nice paint applications and printed details on there, like his name tag, the US Army. Got his rank insignia on his sleeves, paint applications on the belt there, like on the pop studs, and the clasp on his webbing, and the nice texture detail on the webbing lines, leathery effect on his holster. So that's all lovely. Good, solid toy soldier. But what he also has is lots of kind of, good accessories to help you build out the world of your Fury Force. So, of course, they're soldiers. They come with a loadout. He's got his rifle there. What's that? Is that some sort of M16? Got his handgun. Got his little machine pistol thing, submachine gun type thing, with suppressors and whatnot. Got his knife. Got his little smoke grenade here. But then also the world buildery stuff like the canteen and his little Zippo lighter. It also appears that these pouches across the webbing there, across the belt, are modular because he's got the spare pouches. So if you've had an Operation Monster Force or a Crimson Moon figure in hand, you'll know kind of how that works. They've got a similar system on the tactical vests with those characters there. We can see behind him that he's going to come kitted out with a backpack as well, although we can't see much of the detail on that backpack. But it does look like that's got paint applications on it too, with like little pop studs and things in there, painted over. And then, of course, over to the left here, we've got the selection of hand swaps. Pretty standard Fresh Monkey Fiction selection of hand swaps: thumbs up, pointed fingers, grippy hands, saluting hands, etc., etc. But of course, Top Kick comes with a cigarette smoking hand as well. So looking good. Yeah, certainly if you want a solid kind of toy soldier for your line with a Vietnam style aesthetic, this guy and others from the rest of this line will satisfy your need. Interestingly enough, I've been kind of quite critical of the more kind of plain, the more, kind of traditional military looking figures in the 6-inch lines. I like things a little bit more wacky, a little bit more out there. But if the paint applications and the dry brushing and the washing and the sculpting is up to the standard that this render and other renders in the line promise, then yeah, I could be tempted. Absolutely, I could. And those weapons, although it doesn't say here on the digital render, I think might be gridiron too, which comes of a very good standard. Nice dry brushes and stuff. You can see a lot of kind of colour variation and things in there. So it's just got a lot of depth to it. And I can appreciate that. I can definitely appreciate that. Next up, we've got Jelly, who clearly, by sight, you can see straight away, will have been the kind of narrative grounding for what went on to become Stalker in the Real American Hero comic books. Again, pretty standard sort of toy soldier fare. You can see the uniform is consistent with Top Kick's, although here you can see it's a barbell joint, not a hinge, which I think is interesting. Perhaps it's got something to do with the webbing pieces when the character's got the webbing pieces on it. But still got the sculpted details, still got the paint applications and things like the dog tags, the rank of the little insignia, the printed US Army and his name Jelly, the t-shirt underneath, loads of lovely texture details. The belt's got the painted clasp and the stud, nice bunching up at the boots, etc., etc. All that good stuff. Excellent head sculpt there, looking very kind of serious in action, which I love. Got his little kind of floppy sun hat there again, just kind of really adding to that sort of Vietnam era style aesthetic. And of course, if you were looking for a figure, if you wanted to kind of recreate the famous Stalker, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, Vietnam Squad kind of scenes from the Real American Hero comic book, then there's your Stalker, folks. Easy peasy, lemony squeezy. You don't even need to do any kit bashing or anything. You've just got him out the box, which is kind of nice. His loadout doesn't seem quite as good as Top Kick's. He doesn't come with a backpack, or at least not according to this digital render. He's just got his grenade launcher and his knife. No small arms, which I think is a shame. But he has got this nice bandolier with his spare grenades. He's got his little landmine there. And then the same hand swap selection as we've seen on Top Kick, minus the smoking one. So still lots of value in there, just doesn't seem quite as loaded out to my eye, no head swap, etc., etc. But let's see, in time, maybe that'll change. And then speaking of characters whose narrative went on to become something else in a Real American Hero, here's Revenant, who was in is bandaged up following an accident, I think even a helicopter crash, which obviously then went on to be the story that Larry Hama used for the Snake Eyes background. But yeah, nice again, standard toy soldier stuff. However, a camo paint app on this one this time around, although with the barbell joint, and obviously loads of sculpted detail, and looks like a nice wash is intended to go over the bandage sections there and to give it some depth and some character, which is lovely. Again, in paint application, little decal insignia, and the dog tags are present and correct. Looks very pain serious eyes poking through the, the gaps in his wrappings there. Less hand swaps, just one set of hand swaps in the wrappings, but a loadout. He's got his pump action shotgun, got the machine pistol. He's got a kind of longer knife there, two handguns, two of the little Berettas, but then he comes with what appears to be a soft goods cloak to go over the top that he presumably wears to cover up his injured areas and not freak people out, as well as that sort of modular pocket design to go along with the belt across the middle. So yeah, lots to like there. Again, lots to like. I think if there was one that I would consider picking up, if I just had the budget for one, this would be the one that would tempt me, because the storyline, the narrative, the kind of imaginative kind of storytelling piece with the wrappings and the soft goods cloak over the top of him and things means that it just adds a little personality, adds a little bit more character, and also pushes him a little bit more into integrating with the kind of horror theme with the Operation Monster Force and the Order of the Crimson Moon, or to give him a little bit more kind of character and personality to separate him from your other lines like G.I. Joe and Valorverse. So yeah, interesting one, this one. If all I could afford is one at the time, this would probably be the one that I'd go for, just because of that extra bit of personality. And then here we have the Louie figure, Sniper and Logistics, which again, narratively, clearly went on to become the background story for Tommy Ashikagi, Storm Shadow, and his Vietnam era experience with Stalker and Snake Eyes. Even to the point where you can see that he's got the kind of East Asian aesthetic in the face, and is carrying the katana sword. Different book up top. He's going a little bit more cash with his t-shirt, rolled up sleeve top there. Barbell joint on this one again, because it's clearly a different book. He's got these straps down the side to go along with the backpack behind him, but it's the same belt across the middle with the holster, and then they've just, on this image, got a different set of pockets to show you kind of modularity there, and then nice camo pants. He's got his big rifle here. He says he's a sniper. I mean, it's got a big scope on it. I don't know guns, we know this. But yeah, got a nice snipery vibe. It looks like there's some nice sculpted detail on the katana and the sheath as well. If you can see like little kind of ornamental pieces around the top of the sheath and at the hilt of the sword, and the blade looks like it's going to be a nice paint app on there. Got his handgun, got his knife, got the canteen, got the smoke grenade, got the hand swaps. So all good, solid selection there. Looks like there's a lot of plastic gone in this guy. I like the face sculpt well enough as well. With his little sweatband in the camo colours, with his hair flicking over the top. It's nice. They've all got a very serious kind of, we're serious soldiers in the jungle kind of looks on their faces, which is fine. But of course, again, if you wanted to recreate that famous Vietnam scene, there's your Tommy, there's your Storm Shadow as he became in the flesh. And again, no need for any head swapping or nothing. So with your Jelly, with your Revenant, and with your Louie, you've basically got that core kind of piece of historical narrative, that piece of lore narrative from G.I. Joe. Very, very canny. Fresh Monkey Fiction. They're very, very canny about this stuff. Although it's obviously, to be clear, they would say it's similar but legally distinct. Although they are using the Fury Force logo, so Larry Hama must own the concept, not Marvel. Now that I think about it, that didn't occur to me till this point. But yeah, I like the look of this one as well. Yeah, this one's got some personality too, by kind of adding in that sort of Ninja Warrior element with the sword. I'd be interested to know if you can mount the sword somewhere, like on the backpack, or there's a way of plugging it in on his belt. That would be nice to see. For sure, but time will tell once again. Then we have Brujo here, which is the communications expert. So naturally, Brujo comes with the portable radio, with the antenna there, and the little handset to attach to it. Nice sculpt on the backpack. Look at the little tiny paint applications. If they come through like that in the real figure, I'll be very pleased. I love a paint application on the backpacks. Which is nice. His book is, I'm pretty sure, the same as Top Kicks, but with slightly different paint applications. So he's wearing the camo pants and then the plain top, and then he's got obviously the webbing straps there to go along with the backpack, because he's a backpack wearer, and the same belt with the modular pocket system in place. He's wearing, he's got his cover there. Nice stash work as well. You got to respect a toy soldier with good stash work going on, and I do. I really do. So yeah, looking good. I'd probably say this is, for me, the least interesting of everyone so far. But I can't help but be drawn into that stash. It's a slightly different loadout in terms of the handgun. He's got the 1911 there rather than the Berettas, but he's got the machine pistol, holster, knife, hand swaps, canteen, grenades. It's pretty kind of uniform consistency in terms of some of the extra gear, but obviously he's the communications expert, so he comes with communication gear. But again, even though I'm saying he's probably the least interesting of the whole selection to me, still looks like he's going to be a good figure. And if the sculpting again, and the dry brushing and the washing and all that good stuff, that kind of little bit of extra value that you feel like you get with Fresh Monkey Fiction as painted figures, still going to look pretty good, I reckon. Still going to look pretty good. God damn, folks, I've got to tell you, it's hot here in the UK right now. I don't know if hopefully my tower fan's not interfering with the microphone, but with the lights on, I'm starting to, it's starting to get like a real sauna experience. Look at the sweat in my hair. Oh dear. Anyway, next on the list is Hog Man, who's the machine gunner. Clearly, big old bold grizzly dude, machine gunner. He's got the classic, again, sort of Vietnam era style M60 machine gun there, which is nice to see. He's got a lot of character, a lot of personality, this dude. Bald head with a nice grizzly face and unshaven stubble. He's got his cover, though. He does have a little cap there. I like the yellow-coloured USA t-shirt. That's the bit that kind of really catches my eye with this guy, with his jacket over the top, his sleeveless jacket, which is nice to see. Good camo paint apps. Obviously, the legs are consistent uniformly with the other folks who've got camo pants in the line, but I love that t-shirt. Might be a nice guy with a bit of colour, splash of colour to pair up next to your Tiger Force Outback or something, you know what I mean, or your Alpine, the t-shirt lovers. So yeah, love that. But pretty much standard fare, other than the M60 machine gun. Everything else we've seen others coming kitted up with. It just seems to come with an extra grenade. But yeah, I like this one. A lot of personality, a lot of character in there. This head sculpt, that kind of grizzly, bald-headed, grr kind of look is very eye-catching, and I love that splash of yellow in his t-shirt there, which I think is that saying USA underneath? I suspect it probably is. And then finally in the Fury Force line, there is one more figure for us to take a look at. We've got Umbra here, the intelligence and recon character. Although in the original Fury Force, I think it was she was like a sniper in intelligence from Israel. Maybe they've for political expediency decided to kind of make a bit of a change with this one. But yeah, a little bit of a departure. Nice to see a female character in the line. Regular viewers around here know I'm a big supporter of kind of more gender diversity in these kind of action figure lines. But nice gear here, nice world building gear for a start. Got a little kind of explosive device that she's put together with a timer. Got a 70s style portable computery thing going on there. Got a little top secret manila folder, sat phone, Zippo lighter. Looks like Umbra's a smoker too, so she's got a ciggy in hand. The figure sculpt looks nice as well. 2 head swaps, one with her hair loose and then one with her hair tied up underneath her beret. I tell you what, with the beret and the black fatigues, she's giving me vibes of what was the name of that character in the Real American Hero, the Darklonian rebel that Sneak Peek fell in love with when he was spying on Darklon? Martha? I want to say no. Was it Martha? Can't remember. Someone let me know in the comments down below. I should have checked before I went on a hot mic. As always, just opening my mouth without thinking. But nonetheless, the paint applications look great around the eyes, the hair sculpts and such like. Looks a little bit more kind of vanilla, bland in the facial expression, compared to the likes of the others who are a bit more kind of serious and stern and focused. But that's fine, that's fine. Looks like it's a good body sculpt there. Not really much information in terms of the torso articulation, although it does look like the butterfly joints present and correct, and the double elbow and double knees and things. So at minimum, she's got a ball joint in the waist, but I'm hoping a barbell there, although that's those straps and those pouches would possibly get in the way. Looks like the belt's the same. So yeah, looking good. Nice female character. And again, a good pickup if you want to expand your kind of female presence through your other kind of military 6-inch toy lines. But the world building stuff here is really eye-catching to me. I like all this kind of gear, just sort of bringing it to life and adding to your bits box for things that you can integrate into your photos, into your display dios and what have you. And of course, for the customizers out there, I suspect there'll be a few folks got their eye on this because I reckon with a bit of kit bash action, with like a Zanya swamp skier hat and a head swap, you could get your, and with the cigarette hand, you've got a diner here on your hands, haven't you? Basically, for a bit of customization, which of course very canny on Fresh Monkey Fiction's part. So, folks, that was the Fury Force line, but they did have one additional figure that they showed at the panel at the same time. Take a look at this, ladies and gents. A Larry Hama Big Bad Toy Store exclusive figure. Doesn't this just look amazing? This is going to be popular. This is going to fly off the shelves. I am somewhat a little bit nervous that I'll never end up owning this one because I think it'll just sell out. But lots to like here, lots to like here. I mean, in the first instance, it's just a good likeness. It's a good looking character. Got his signature t-shirt with his military style jacket, his jeans, looking good. It's a USS flag t-shirt underneath the jacket there, and the baseball cap is a USS flag baseball cap. Obviously, a little nod to G.I. Joe as one of his kind of main influences in the world. But then also his comic book and his sketch pad. He's got a Bucky O'Hare comic book. And he's got a sketch pad with a Flint sketch on it. Love that, love that, love that. But with his Comic-Con lanyard, his cup of coffee, and his guitar, of course, his beloved guitar, which looks like a nice sculpt, a nice piece of kit. And then his pencil holding hand swap in addition to the sort of core standard selection, although it looks like the grippy hand's got a wider grip on it to accommodate that coffee cup, and then the Larry Hama signature on the base. This is just a lovely homage to the man himself. And some of you folks out there might well be kind of keeping up on your comic book creator homage figures. You might have a Stan Lee from Marvel Legends. You might have yourself Todd McFarlane. Now you can get yourself a Larry Hama. But yeah, this looks lovely. What a great figure. What a great homage to the man. Big Bad Toy Store exclusive though, so I think it's going to be hard to get hold of, folks. I'm not feeling confident that I'm going to be able to get one over here in the UK. Through our supplier, Kapow Toys, that stocks the Fresh Monkey Fiction stuff. They sell out very quick already with the Operation Monster Force and what have you. But still, yeah, wonderful. What a lovely little touch to throw in the mix there to finish things off. And just to quickly finish off, here it was the glass cabinet figures that appeared after they'd done the panel announcing the upcoming releases and giving the previews. So you can see some of what I was hoping in the digital render around things like the paint apps, like the washes, like the dry brushes, like the sculpt detail appears in these production examples to be present and correct, which is lovely. I'll just jump to this one for the closer look at the two figures behind the Umbra and the Louie as well. So yeah, very excited about this line. Very excited indeed. And there you go, folks. There's your news item. The Fresh Monkey Fiction / Big Bad Workshop Fury Force line announced at the panel at JoeFest the weekend before last. We've had a look through the digital renders. Obviously, as always, I invite you to share your thoughts and comments down below. I'm actually, my head's been turned. As a guy who doesn't normally go for your more kind of traditional toy soldier, I think there is just a little bit of enough depth and personality in the same way that G.I. Joe attracts me with depth and personality in their kind of core toy soldiers, then I might pick up some. Probably won't do the whole wave. But I'll definitely pick up a couple of them to engage with and integrate into my other lines. And I don't know why, but there's just something about the way that they're put together that catches my eye a little bit more than other unique IPs in the military toy line space, like Valaverse, like Fist, etc., etc. And I can't quite put my finger on why that is. So if anyone can help me articulate that, then please do let me know. I think it's probably because of the sort of clever interconnectivity that these do have with the G.I. Joe. So like I said about the Vietnam era scenes from the comic book, or you can turn your Umbra into your Dartlonian rebel, or you can turn her into customize her into a die. So I think as always, Fresh Monkey Fiction have got that nice clever kind of little marketing piece. That said, when I spoke to my friend Curtis, who was there at JoeFest, you can go see my interview with him in another video. He said that there was no real word on when these will ship, but the pre-orders are opening up in Q3, I think he said to me, which means, as we joked at the time, me and Curtis, we might not see these for freaking years yet, with the kind of Fresh Monkey Fiction timeline. But that's a conversation and a whinge for another day. However, in principle, the line is looking pretty good. Yeah, pretty exciting. Well, they need to start, getting stuff happening. Well, where's the Battle Nun and the Agent Harker and stuff for Operation Monster Force? No word on that. Or the Little Red Riding Hood and those gangsters and things. Those like kind of Prohibition era gangsters they showed off at like last JoeFest. Was it last JoeFest or another convention last year? They're doing like previewing stuff a lot of Fresh Monkey Fiction, and it's taking forever to get it into our hands. Nonetheless, okay. Well, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, do all the buttons that help a YouTube brother out. But in the meantime, have yourselves a great day. Have yourselves a great week. And please do swing back around for another video sometime soon. I'll see you later, folks.